friends, and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that recently just kind of came to my mind, something that I was doing in my own life experience. And I thought, I'm going to share that so that people can be mindful of the small ways that we are in essence sabotaging ourselves. um, and just holding the awareness that you are doing it and subsequently changing that particular characteristic or aspect of your life can sometimes lead to great things. It can alter the trajectory of your life. And so we are all here trying to hack life, if you will, and trying to figure out the spiritual aspects of life and trying to use those to live the way that we're supposed to be living and to manifest the life that we want, in essence, to just become the fullest and most complete versions of ourselves and have the biggest possible life that we can. And there are some things that we can take a closer look at that'll kind of guide us forward or help us to lean more into the process of living successfully. So, let me give this caveat before I talk about it, and that I really do believe that life is supposed to be enjoyed. And I don't want to come here and sound like a killjoy today. So, um, just know that that's not my intent. Your first reaction might be, well, oh my God, I mean, if I'm not doing this and if I can't do this, it kind of feels a little bit like what religion kind of has presented to us as the way to be. And that's definitely not what I'm after here. What I'm after is just noticing the subtle things that we do and then deciding whether or not we want to make a conscious change. And oftentimes, in making the change, we just are met with or yielded better results. So now that I've got that out of the way, let me talk about what I came on here to talk about. So the title of this podcast was Everything That Is Good Is Not Good for You. And we kind of know that with things like diet, when you're eating your second piece of cake, that it's too much sugar and that it's not the best thing for you. So those things are kind of obvious. But there was something that I was doing that was kind of flying right underneath my radar. And I recently realized it and decided, you know what, I want to show up a little differently, or I want to move a little differently. So a little story time here. I was having a conversation with a friend, and I've known this person for a while, and I love this person. She's funny, she's hilarious actually, and I just really have a good time when I am with her. But this is something that I noticed that she does and that I was also doing because I was with her, that I realized it wasn't serving me, and I just decided I no longer wanted to participate in that. She is a person that talks about other people, and she does it in a funny way. She does it in a way that will make you laugh. But I had to kind of ask myself, like, is this your highest and best? And if it's not, what can you replace it with? So whether it's something that she saw on social media, or whether it is something that's going on in pop culture. I mean, she'll come and she's like, girl, did you hear about this? And she'll say something funny like, girl, now you know he didn't have any business, blah, blah, blah. And I'm laughing and I'm like, girl, you are so right, da, 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 da. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're human beings, and we're gonna sometimes laugh at things, and we're not always gonna show up as these perfect beings. How boring is that anyway? You need contrast in life for life to be interesting. But for me and what I'm trying to accomplish, like I said, no judgment here, no judgment to her, no judgment to people that do this. I just decided that the subtle little loss right there wasn't worth the hit to my karma. Because the Bible tells us, judge not lest ye be judged. And these spiritual principles, they're big. They start costing us. So every time I'm laughing, every time I'm participating in that conversation, I am also creating a little bit of karma for myself. Now, my heart's in the right place always, and I only want the best for people. And I can honestly say the same for this person. It's just funny and we're just laughing. But I wanted to bring it into my conscious awareness and ask myself, is this something that is really good for you? And if it's not, what can you replace it with? Do you really have to participate in these kinds of conversations? And I just decided that, I will be as hands off as I can. If she wants to do it, that's fine. And I may still laugh or still chuckle if it's funny, but I'm going to have the conscious awareness of, hey, you don't want to go too far down this path, because your karma is going to take a hit and it's just not worth it to you. And so the question becomes, in your heart, are you actually judging? And in those conversations we are, and we're laughing at someone else's misfortune. And even though our hearts are not in a bad place and we want the best for people, it's just probably just not the best thing to do. And so I just decided, I could still be in this space with this person. We can laugh about other things. We can talk about shopping, food, clothes, health. There's so many other things that we can do. Like every every interaction doesn't have to be based and built around us looking at other people and thinking we know what's best for their lives and offering up judgmental conversations. We just don't have to really do that. Everybody's doing the best that they can, and just being able to extend grace is a much, much better way of handling those things. And after a while, once I decided that I didn't want to do it anymore, it just became easy not to. It wasn't this thing like, oh girl, there you go, or getting tense when she brought up the conversation. Once I made up my mind that I just didn't want to do it anymore, it was an easy shift. I just looked up one day and we were doing less and less of that, and we were talking about other things. We filled that space with something that was a little more fruitful and a little bit more uplifting to talk about. So I was thinking about that, and I wanted to come on and share that. Everything that is good is not good for us. Look for those things, those subtle ways that you could be leaking energy or creating negative karma that's going to come back to you in some way, shape, or form in the future. And just start shifting out of that. Just start, moving in a different direction and filling those negative spaces with things that are just more fruitful and just more uplifting. And as you do that, you're going to find that eventually your life is going to bear even more fruit. So I hope that helps you. Thanks for listening.